You think that episode was the only one? Oh no. When we do deep dives, we go deep as we dive on through. And you're going to learn more and more about this disability I have, hopefully, language impairment, and how I think the character Roan has it. And we're going to go through beat by beat why I think she has this. I could be wrong, I may be just overlooking things, but I think I may have some wiggle room in this. Well, woohoo! Welcome to this part of the pond, where it's the Bullfrog and the one and only Newt.
Base reveal at 100,000 subscribers.
Take two, because we also want those subscribers as well, and that'll be an inside joke for you, Newt. Well, language impairment, it's not as really well studied. But I mean, yes, there are a lot more people looking up and such right now. But I wonder if I feel like this is kind of a part of it. And that is mantra. Well, not just a mantra, but we absorb words too well. Because in the books, Roan, the character, who I love, well, there's a lot of characters I love. She's one of them for certain reasons. She had an abusive father. And with that case, she absorbed all of his negative words, that she is not meant to have happiness. She is meant to only be deprived of love. She's not meant to have anything good. And she absorbed those words too well in her character. You find that a lot in Book 1, Age of Legends. We see it more in her POV in Age of Swords. And it's there in Book 3, Age of War. Oh my goodness, it is. But no spoilers here, but I'm sure you're all gonna love that scene. You will. Again, words, the mantra, these absorption, because she absorbed that negative. But also in Book 1, where she and the main characters are in her house, the character Badera says to Roan, there's always a better way. I may be misquoting, but that is important because it helps her for the rest of the book series. And Newt, light spoiler warning, but keep to the time right here, people. So if you don't want to get the spoiler, go to this time, and Newt better do his homework because he's going to hurt me in the end of this, I can tell. Please don't hurt me. He is a big guy, people. Former linebacker. You were a linebacker in high school? No? You were lineman. Oh, yeah, now I remember. Oh my gosh. I suddenly remember you taking down that guy in front of you. I had no idea where he was, and you got up, and I realized he was on the ground.
Yeah, that happened a lot.
I'm starting to remember why I never went in physical contact with you.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't. Dang it, we're getting off topic. I'm so sorry, people. It's just, Newt is intimidating, and I'm giving him a pain right now. But time card right here if you don't want spoilers. And spoiler is, Roan takes Badera's mantra, and she basically invents the bow and arrow for the world. She invents the wheel for humans. She invents metals for mankind. She is boss. I mean, at the end of the book series, it's almost like there needs to be a title card right here, Newt, where it just says her name flashing, Roan, and just going, Roan. There's going to be a few characters. This may be a whole thing for the rest of the channel when it comes to books. Characters that I love, and suddenly their name flashing, going, Roan. But at the end of the show, books, it's just that. But before all of that, she was Roan. No one cared. Well, people did care for her, but she had an abusive father. People looked at her in pity. She wasn't considered. They didn't really connect to her as well as like an equal. But at the end, mic drop, people. It's Roan. And it's all because of that mantra, because she absorbed those words. There's always a better way. And the reason why that is because I'm like the same way. I absorb words, both good and bad. And the best way I could say this is what happened growing up and during those middle school years. They were very landmark for me personally. Through the bullying, which I could do a whole lot for you in the realms of how to write bullies and the realms of what makes a bully a bully. Because right now in the world of literature and TV shows, a bully is something out of Stephen King, when I can teach you more. But that's a future video. But from bullying and a 13-year-old boy having a depression and all that other stuff, and me learning that I have a learning disability. All that was rough. But in those times, those moments, I felt I was in I felt like I was getting these dark words and I was absorbing them. It was harsh. It was horrible, but with the parents I had and the friends I had, I was able to disavow myself from those words. And in high school, in my senior year, people, I actually got a job. And what it was is I didn't apply. My next door neighbor, and he owns this hardware store, and his wife complained about these stains on price tags and the floor. So I got my first job, and I didn't feel like I was a part of the family for the beginning. I worked there for 3 years. And at the beginning, I didn't feel a connection to the people. I didn't have the vest. I was just there, so they're just wiping and sweeping. I didn't feel a connection. But then I remembered the words my brother said when I was doing those dark years of middle school. And with all that, my brother was dating his wife at the time. And when they came to stop by, my parents, it was me, my younger brother and sister, and I was under a bad duress. I just couldn't take it anymore. I threw the remote and almost broke it. And my brother's wife still married him. A little shout out for her, cause match made in heaven. I saw your little brother throw a tantrum. I'm still gonna marry you, you know that? Yes! That shout out there. Again, I was having a hard time, and my brother just sat me down and said this to me. Bullfrog, there are 2 kids. One in America, one in Cuba. The kid in America is sitting in a wheelchair looking at his legs, saying to himself, I can't do anything. The kid in Cuba has no legs, with a skateboard as the only form of travel, and he's playing soccer with his friends. Bullfrog, who do you think is having fun? After that, I held on to that. And fast forward to me at that job, my first job, sweeping floors, cleaning price tags, really, with only 2 friends that I know, and those were the 2 guys in charge of me. And every day I just looked at the clock and me going, I'm doing this for money, I'm doing this for money. Then one day I just paused and went, remember those words of my brother, looked at the clock, and remember, back in the day, before there was a thing called iPhones, there were things called iPads, and and that's where we stored our music. Well, the problem was, I didn't have one. So after that day, I trained my brain, my memory, to remember songs. From Blues Brothers to Disney stuff to Queen. For a long time, I could do word by word, Bohemian Rhapsody, including the notes. Of course, again, this is doing to myself, but that's what I did. And then having that moment, remembering my brother's words, and suddenly going, what can I make this funner? And it came to me. There is no rule with me dancing with the mop. And after that, I was sweeping floors, dancing to myself, and singing to myself. Not like, yeah! Like sing or America's Got Talent. Heck no. I was mumbling it to myself, barely even there. But I did that. And that change, that first job, I learned so much. That change did everything for me. Again, I began knowing no one, not feeling part of the family, with only 2 people in charge. After 3 years, I was a part of gardening. After 3 years, there were 2 inside jokes that everyone knew. Automotive, well, me and mechanics, there's a weird relationship with me and those guys. Even my recent job now. Well, back then, you weren't officially a part of automotive unless you scared the Bullfrog. So imagine me when back in the day, before I was in gardening and sweeping, automotive. Where are you guys? Where are you guys? Bullfrog, son of a. Ugh. But I love you guys. If you're watching these, I still love you guys. And Mean Gene, part of shipping, may he rest in peace. It was famous throughout the job that me and him had a rivalry feud debate. Who was the king of rock and roll? He says Elvis Presley. I know the truth, people. It's Little Richard. That man is the king of rock and roll. I have the facts to back it up. But both of us would actually go into legitimate debates on who's the king of rock and roll. And everyone knew it. And on my last day of work, while everyone was there having a good farewell, and it's also the Christmas, and I'm about to go on my mission, I go to Mean Gene and going, you know, Elvis is the king. I go, oh crap, I messed up. I admitted it, but not trying to, and the whole place burst out laughing because we all knew the joke. We all knew the inside thing. At the beginning, I was no one. At the end, I had friends. I was a part of the group. I had the vest. I was working. They all knew me as the Bullfrog. And we had fun. We had pranks. And it all became from the fact of what my brother said. And Roan, the same way. Coming from no one, being no one, just being something to be sympathetic to or just whisper around. Not being there, part of the community, but after Badera's words, the moment of positivity, the words that helped her, she went from no one to, at the end of the book series, being the biggest character. Mic drop, don't mess with her. Right here, Roan! Roan? I mean, we absorb words well, and with those of us who have a hard connection to them, when words get through and it's about us, we latch them tighter. And with that, we can actually, it could be something that could help us or hurt us. So I'm not saying be cautious what you say, but more the lines of, if you can say the right thing, you can turn on a motivation you do not believe could happen. And a determination you do not understand. And you see that more with my disability and probably Asperger's as well. That there's this hidden determination that can be unlocked if we get the right words. I mean, I'm sure you could see it if you have these learning disabilities. I think you guys can notice that there is this hidden determination that we all have. Flip the right switch, we're gone. Say the right subject, we're gone. It's a hidden passion that we all have. It's a positive. As much as we have these walls that prevent us, there is a well deep in there that can just say, all right, just tell me when. Click. Boom! It's a geyser that won't stop. I believe it. It's in there in all of us. But they're a little stronger in us with learning disabilities. Oh my gosh, I love these books! Sullivan, I love you! Stamp. Sorry. And this is episode 1. And not episode 1, episode 2. Whew, whew. Brain fried. And episode 3 is kind of going more into that determination and what can it do. Until then, here's the Bullfrog and the Newt signing out.